What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another Black Desert video. So today I thought it was a good time to update one of my older guide videos talking about how to increase your max energy. Now, the reason why we want to do that is because tomorrow is the new gathering treasure item, the Star of Nostos, and I kind of wanted to just basically talk about this just because I know people are going to go for it, and myself included. So obviously, having a higher energy pool means you can gather longer, and it just makes things go by a lot faster. So, at the stage of the game right now, I believe the max you can get is around 740 without the ginseng buff or any of the crystals. And then, so, like, the max you can get is another plus 50 from the ginseng, and then another plus 20 from 2 crystals. So little over 800, but anyway, for most people I think just 700 plus good enough. Honestly, I think above 500 is generally good enough. After that, you're kind of going out of your way, and myself included. Today I did a little bit of energy hunting, and for me it's getting to the point where, you know, it's taking a few hours per energy. But with that said, let's talk about this and go about how to do everything and what I would recommend. This is going to be helpful for newer players and just people who are looking to get energy in total, especially Ecology for the item drop rate. All right, so with that said, let's go down the list. I'll talk about what I think is the easiest to hardest and what might be something that you should probably start doing now, and so on. All right, with that said, going down into characters. This is literally just playing the game, talking to the various NPCs, and then, you know, just getting knowledge of them in general. So this is one that you will probably get naturally. And most of these you could probably get. All you should care about is, like, getting the energy. If it's blue, that means you've gotten everything. And then if it's not blue, it just means you're like, there's one missing log or something that, I mean, if you're a completionist, you do it. But if you're only here for the energy, not everything requires max or like a full completion. One site I would use is BDO Codex. It just has all the knowledge. People upload screenshots of where things are. It really just helps you out. But characters in general, probably one of the easiest things to do. You're getting this just by playing naturally. And the way I could show you this as an example, if you're a new player and have no idea what you're doing, is basically go to a town. And then if you see like an NPC where it's just like a random question mark, you go to it. I have one example I can show you because this one was added recently and I had no reason to ever be down here. So you'll see something like the NPC over here where it says that it shows like a question mark, right? You just go to them, talk to them, and then that's basically it. You do that for the entire world and get knowledge. That's really the easiest one. Next, topography. This is basically just going around every area, unlocking all the nodes for everything. Chances are you'll get this also playing naturally, just discovering things as you play. There are some things that are a little bit out of the way, in my opinion. Some of the nodes you kind of have to find yourself. And so here's one tip that I can give you guys. Assume like your world is not fully discovered and you don't know where to go about finding various nodes. So let's take an example. Let's just take this one. Actually, that's a bad example. Let's take one where I have nothing invested into. So like, let's say you want to get these cluster of nodes right here, but you don't have it unlocked. It's like the fog of war or something when you first make your account. So let's start with something that you do have. So you'll see by a town, you could click this one. If you invest into that one, cool, it'll show you where the next one is. But then you go to this one, you'll see it requires the previous node. What you do is click this previous node, and it'll show you these beacons. Even if you don't have it discovered, it literally pinpoints where the nodes are. So you can just follow the light, set an auto path, or, you know, if you have this one over here, and you're just like, okay, so you do that one at a time, and then just see it, mark it as a node, and go to it. That's how you discover everything in the world. A lot of people don't know that, but now you do. So that's topography in a nutshell. You just do this for all the areas. You don't particularly need everything. Some of these are, you know, out of the way to the point where you don't need it. If you get to 1 out of 1, great. If not, some of these are just find them elsewhere. The sea, very self-explanatory. All of these are out in the ocean and for Margoria. And then some of these you can just get for talking to the NPCs. So if you don't know where the stuff is out in the ocean, it's like all these islands around here going up and into Margoria over here. So if you've ever done any sort of sailing or bartering, you probably have all these discovered by just doing that. But even if you don't, once again, the same way that I just taught you, go from node A to B and then click this and then find a discovery one. So like, let's say here, previous node, it'll pinpoint all of those and then you just discover all of them. But the best way I would do that is just try bartering a little bit. Bartering is actually very good money right now, or silver. And yeah, you just do it in like the Olvia Academy. It gives you a boat and then just go sailing from point A to B. It's actually very chill, actually. Even if you don't like bartering, it's just sailing in the ocean is very calming. Get your energy by doing all that. Very cool. Ecology. This is the one that's probably going to take people the longest amount of time, simply because if you are not like an OG player or you haven't played the game for a long time, you've probably watched a lot of other people just tell you where to go, where to grind, and chances are you've skipped a lot of the progress, because especially for new players, the catch-up mechanics in this game are pretty like big, and you're just getting black stars into sovereigns and fallen god armors. Your gear is like at 250 in like a day nowadays if you were to just start. And so you've probably missed a lot of the old grind spots that they haven't touched. And like, so that's one of those things where that's like a Pearl Abyss issue. Maybe they buffed the older spots to make it relevant again. That way, you know, newer players can just go to these old spots again. But anyway, go to a spot and grind various things, go to various grind spots, get them. That's where ecology comes in. And then this is important because the higher your ecology number, it tells you the points over here, it increases your overall drop rate for, you know, grinding. So more is better. I think after around like 4,000, maybe 4,000 ecology, that's where you kind of have, it goes out of the way. And, you know, I kind of do feel bad for newer players because you're just going from spot to spot and you didn't go to these older spots back in the day, and it feels kind of bad because you're literally making 0 silver or very minimal just doing that, and you have to go energy hunting. So anyway, that's a Pearl Abyss thing. Hope they fix it one day. Just buff the older spots and then that fixes the problem. But yeah, just go down the list and, you know, grind all the other spots that, you know, you could do, and that's how you get ecology. Some tips I could give you for ecology is, one, if you have any bird pets, like bird pets usually give higher knowledge gain chance. The higher the tier, the more energy, or like the higher knowledge chance, everything. There are probably some foods that give you knowledge gain and everything. This isn't as an event one that kind of happened a while ago, but I just had a lot of them extra. And just knowledge gain, and then knowledge, higher grade knowledge is like chance to gain it, and then the tier, like from C to S tier. So let's see. Besides pets, another thing you can get is, I believe, the earrings. I think they give those out for free, or you could probably get it with loyalties or spending pearls. That's how you get it. But I know they've given this out for free. Glasses, once again, pearl stuff. I know they've given glasses out for free though, so if you've been playing it, you probably have that. That's a big one. Yeah, I think that's it. And I believe there's a food for that. Let me just, which one is it though? Oh yeah, it's the simple cron meal that gives knowledge gain and knowledge rate in a way. So yeah, you want to boost that up when you're grinding various spots. Get S rank, higher ecology, and get 2 things at once. Get the S ranks for your drop rate, and also get the energy. Adventure logs. This one is a little bit tricky because this requires both doing questing and also, you know, maybe dialogue. Amity game, that's a whole topic. We'll talk about that. But basically, you know, right here, if you just hover over things, it'll be like interaction, quest, or, you know, dialogue, or Amity game. You have to do all those. So if you have multiple characters, you will have an advantage of doing Amity game. And if you just like, if you've never done the side quests in this game, that's what gives all these quest lines and knowledge. So yeah, just do those. And this is probably going to be one of the longer ones for you, just because if you don't like side questing or questing in this game, you probably skipped it, and that's where a lot of the energy comes from. So one of those tips that I would give you is just whatever your favorite region is, just go down the list and do them. Look up, go on the BDO Codex. People literally post screenshots of where things are, and then go do that. All right, so academics. This one was just kind of like a lot of Amity games, and so you know how like some of these are question marks that says Amity, right? Amity is an outdated system in this game. Some of them are okay-ish, but most of them are pretty terrible. If you don't know what it is, let me show you real quick. So there's multiple things. So right here it says Amity, right? And then there are various NPCs all over the world where it's like, here's some knowledge. You need a certain amount of Amity to play that or get the knowledge. There's two ways of getting it. One is hitting the F5 greet button. You use 3 energy, you get 3 Amity. Another way, and depending on the NPC, sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not, is you talk to them with the conversation. You use a little bit of energy, and then you see how it says requirement. Some of them have different objectives every time. And this isn't going to be a specific thing because all NPCs are different, but like, if you look at them, what you're going to look at over here is the sparking interest. Generally, the higher number is better. You want to be as close to 100% as possible. And then the favor. Favor over here is important because you have to meet the minimum for the various NPCs. Sometimes they tell you to fail them, which is weird itself. But just the knowledge you have of the stuff already will, like, I think if you have certain higher knowledge, you get a higher favor chance or something. It's really weird and outdated, but either way, TLDR, bigger number, higher favor. Try to line those up, and I'll just show you. So for this one, gain favor of 39 or higher. So let's just choose things. It gets a little bit more complicated than that because some of them have a combo effect, like after 4 turns, the level will increase by 6 for 2 turns. There's some sort of min-maxing formula for every single one of them. I don't know all of them, but just in general, to save you a little bit of energy, just pick big number and, you know, higher favor, always good. And you see how this one says 15? You generally don't want to pick that one. So yeah, you just cycle through all the knowledge and energy you have, and then, you know, just find a combo. Happy face means it succeeded. Sad face means you failed it. Now, here's how it works. You see how you got energy? You can keep talking. It's basically a double or nothing. Well, not really double. The multiplier is a little bit different. But it'll give you, if you keep talking, it'll give you another objective, right? And, you know, sometimes you could fail it just out of straight RNG. Or you can score a higher number by continuously talking to them 3 times in a row. So, yeah. The Amity game is really outdated. It's dumb. I wish they would, you know, rework the entire system in general. But either way, that's how you get Amity in a nutshell. There's more of a formula than that, but I don't know them all, admittedly. So, that's a lot of them. One thing that I've tested, or tried to test at least, is you know how you invest in various nodes, right? And in theory, you know how when you invest in a various node, it'll be like, this is what you get for investing into like something, and in theory it should give you more, but I don't even know if that really works. So when in doubt, either play the game or hit F5 over and over until the number gets to the point where you get to Amity. This is where more characters come into play. So if you have a lot of extra characters just generating energy, play the game, spam F5, either one. Some NPCs are very annoying to do. The ones in Valencia, I will say, are very annoying to do. So here's the fun thing that they added a couple of months ago is you can now move your characters without being on it. So for example, if you click this one and then you right click it and it'll say move character, you just pick a node and then you can move them wherever. So make sure to send them to a node that you're trying to invest in. That's one of the good things, quality of life they added for all this one. So yeah, just a lot of these are Amity games and doing questing. This one's going to take a while because energy is very limited. Here's some things I would recommend. Energy potions. Well, I mean, if you can buy them, that's great. Otherwise, just use your other characters. These miraculous herbal medicines are, they're probably right now they're in kind of high demand because the new treasure items coming out tomorrow, and people are kind of stocking up on them. Same with the, what is that, mellow thingy? Yeah, mellow herbal. So anything that gives energy is pretty much sold out right now. But if you're watching this like 6 months later, maybe not. All right, so now that we talked about that, academics is just doing Amity game and talking to the NPCs. These other things down here are, I don't think any of these actually give energy, so it's not important. The trade ones, you guys probably have, here's what you do. You go to a trade manager in every town, and they probably have a list of knowledge you can get for energy. So it's probably a couple thousand total. It's like 10 energy times a lot of different knowledge. It's not really important. However, in another video, I talked about family fame. This will boost your number on your family fame or the special fame. So if it puts you into a new bracket, you might want to do that. But ultimately, it's not super important to get things that aren't helpful for energy for you. But yeah, that it does help a little bit, but it's not the highest priority. So yeah, anyway, the most important ones are from character to academics, and from easiest to hardest. Characters being the easiest one is literally just talking to NPCs. You don't even have to do much. Topography is exploring the world. C is literally just exploring the ocean, talking to those NPCs. Ecology is how much do you grind and where do you grind. So if you've tested or grinded every single spot in the game, you probably already have that. If you are a new player and you're only following a guide of where should I grind at this AP level, chances are you don't have a lot of these. So it's one of those things where if you want the energy, you got to go back to the older spots. It is what it is. Adventure logs is questing and doing all the side quests that people don't like doing. So yeah, I would say for most people, once you get the energy, and it's like, let's say you have a bunch of missing energy, but you already got 4 out of 4 energy. Do you like questing? And then that will say if you want to go continue it or not. And academics is Amity game. So if you have extra character slots, make them and just let those sit as energy batteries. And while those are collecting energy, you just send them to a different town and have them do the Amity game that we talked about and so on. But aside from that, other ways of getting energy in this game are through titles. If you hover over here, the more titles you have, you can get up to +8 energy. Getting titles in this game is going out of your way. That also ties into ecology. So like, getting, more S ranks or killing X amount of enemies at a certain grind spot, will give you more titles. So, it kind of works together. But I would say after, probably around like 600 titles, you kind of have to go out of your way to get it. Like naturally playing, you get a couple hundred. And then if you are trying to push for the extra XP and so on, I think that's good enough. But I would say those are really for the min-maxers. If you can get around 1,500 titles, you're set. You're good to go. The 2000 is literally min-maxing at this point. You already got everything. But yeah, here's some tips I can give you. If you're going for title collecting, there are a lot of things where it's just like, here, make this item in a certain town, or, you know, craft an item. So this is one of those things I kind of looked at. So it's like, here, craft a pot. And I remember actually doing this. So let me see. Do I have it? So like down in like Duvinkroon and Odalita, I remember actually investing into a town just to craft various like things just to get a title. It is kind of annoying, but you know, fishing in different spots will give you a bunch. If you're a life skiller and you do all these, it's not too bad. And then grinding, and then world is just various events. So chances are, this is what yours is probably going to look like. If you fish a lot and you do a lot of active fishing, this will probably be higher. But I would say for most people, you know, just get to the point where you're at like +3 luck, and then as much energy as you can after that. So I would say probably 300, try to get to there if you're a beginner. After that, try to push for around like, you know, past maybe 700, and then 1,000, and then 1,500. After 1,500, I don't even think there are 2,000 titles in this game that you can get, to be honest. But if there is, then you're pretty much 100%ing the game. So either way, that's one of those tips I can give you. So another thing, in case you guys are wondering, what does the Millennial Wild Ginseng do? Really nothing. For an endgame player, I have an extra one. You can get this by gathering, and 100 HP. It's nice to have. Will it save you at endgame grind spots or most grind spots? Probably not. You're really using it for the +50 energy recovery. So instead of 3 per 3 minutes, you get like 4 per 3 minutes. Extra weight is always nice. Breath and strength, kind of whatever. And then everything else. But it lasts for 90 days, and they're about 6 bill each. Would I recommend newer players to get it? No, it really does not bother me. Like if I were to run out, I don't buy these. If I get them from gathering, great. If I don't and I can't get one, I'm not going to put an order on it. So just to keep that in mind. So that's about it. I'm just using it for the plus energy and energy recovery. Everything else is a bonus. But is it worth 6 bill for 3 months? Not really. For most people, no. But it is just that min-max stat. Another tip I can give you guys. If you have those energy crystals. Do I have any? I think I do. These things right here. You can have 2 crystals. Plus 10 energy times 2. Now, some people have multiple characters that they don't play. So let's say you're just collecting energy as a battery, right? And let's say your total is whatever your highest number is. If you use those energy crystals on another character, that total will be plus 20. So if my cap on this character is 762, but I had the energy crystals on the other one, that will go up plus 20 to the cap. So it's one of those things, if you don't really play it, your other characters, and you're just using it for energy, just make sure to swap your crystal preset to that one with energy crystals. Is it a big deal? No, it's just, you know, min-maxing. But aside from that, that's all I wanted to talk about. Good luck with your energy grind. It is kind of... if I were to give a realistic number, I would say maybe around like 300-400-ish is where you can get in terms of energy before, like, just playing the game normally. After that, you are going out of your way to push for energy. And so that's about it. Anyway, that's all. Thanks so much for watching. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace!